Hi guys, welcome back to the Chaotic Cuticle Club.
Hello.
This week, Susie's in charge.
I don't know why. I'm so tired. Woo! Anyway, right, Casey, how's your week been? You've had a busy weekend, and we've been AWOL. We've been AWOL
Yeah,
because life's been busy.
yeah. So this feels like odd because it's been like 2 weeks that we haven't
You know.
filmed anything. Yeah, life just got a bit chaotic, and I didn't get my arse in gear in time. But sorry, they're
Don't
laughing.
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I've set us off. I apologise to anyone that's watching that is now yawning. Yeah, I've been busy. I've been away for the weekend. So I totally unplugged, which was quite nice. I didn't reply to any messages or any client stuff or anything. We went to like a race car and country music thing, which was fabulous. The weather was really cold and wet, but it was great fun, and it was
awesome.
nice. It was nice to get out. And to be fair, we were camping, and I do love the sound of rain on a tent. So yeah,
Oh,
clients
can't,
is going
can't.
well. Um, I've actually got my busiest week ever this week.
Ooh.
So yeah, I've got because Christmas was my busiest week before, but I've got more clients this week than I had Christmas week. So
I've been saying this to people. June all of a sudden has just turned into like the month, like Christmas month for me. Like
yeah,
June is so busy.
I guess
Like I
people
think
are
I've
like
got
getting
one
ready for
slot left.
holidays and stuff as well, aren't they? People do more in the summer, don't they? They tend to have a
Mm,
bit more of a life in the summer. But yeah,
it's just insane.
it's going well.
Good. I'm really
How
pleased to hear.
how's your life?
I have no idea. It's all, I think it's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I'm tired. I am very tired. This month is busy.
Mhm, mhm.
Like, it's busy. I got a few new clients booked in, I think. I don't know. I don't know.
You've
I
got
don't
very
know.
few slots left, I've seen on your
I
stories.
I think I've got, because I've had a couple of people reschedule to like July, which I've been very good at. Okay, no, actually, what I've done, so in the previous episode, we talked about me possibly, and we talked about me possibly going to a studio a couple of days a week, but I have actually, life has just got in the way. So what I have done is actually postponed that and turned it down for now, just because life. And I've actually raised my prices from the 1st of July. My prices are going up. Not very much, but still, it's still a price rise. And I've also been quite firm with a couple of people who always got like maybe a discount or something. And I have messaged them and been very brave and said, I'm quite happy to keep the base price at what it was, but I do need to add art prices onto it now.
Mhm.
Because for a wee while it was fine. People were getting a base thing, and then it just every so often it would just creep up, and it would creep up with, oh, can I just get this art? Can I just get a bit more? And I'm like, right,
No.
boundaries. So I've done that. And anyone that's rescheduling their appointment from June to July, I have said to them, your price is going to go up. And I've been really firm about it and really just like matter of fact, I haven't apologized. I haven't been like, oh, I'm so sorry and over explained. I've just been very much like, this is what's happening and
Mhm.
this is the situation. So this is it. Like,
I love that. I'm very proud of you because I know it was a big
so
step, and
it
yeah,
was.
that's amazing.
I've had quite a few people asking. I've taken one day, one of my working days off this month, and I've the amount of messages I've had going, oh, but can I just have this day? And it's killing me to say no,
Mhm.
but I have taken it off, and the amount of people are like, oh, but why are you off? And I'm like, I just am.
Because I have a life. I need
Yeah.
rest. I am
It's
not
my
a robot.
birthday. It'll be my birthday, and I don't want to be sitting opposite a desk servicing people on my birthday. I want to sit in my bed like I usually do and cry. The same as usual. That's what I want to do.
Have a
So
party.
we're absolutely not doing that. Yeah, we're definitely not doing that. So yes, so it's busy, and I am confused about the busyness. To be fair, yeah.
I'm not.
Anyway, I am like, what the fuck, bro? Anyway, yes. Right. How
Let's
is everybody?
get into
I
the
hope everybody is well. Let's get into it. So, this week we are talking about, are we creating content or working? There you go. When did becoming a nail tech become a full time content creator job as well. Now, we've spoken about this before about content creation and stuff, but the reality is we haven't really spoken about like the difference between like being a nail tech and actually being a content creator, because being a content creator is a full-time bloody job, and also as a nail tech. So
Mhm, mhm.
we need to like, which one is most important to people, to us, to like, how do we split that time essentially? So how much of your week is actually spent doing nails, do you think?
Well, at the moment, because I'm not fully booked, not that much. But I don't know, probably less than all of the other stuff. Maybe not less. I don't know.
If you think about it, you have to do filming, editing, posting, writing captions, doing stories, replying to comments, planning content,
Mhm.
creating graphics for it, learning different algorithms, which easily can add up to more time
Oh,
than you're
yeah.
spending doing nails. But you're not getting paid for that.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
So, like, and that's a full time, people are employed as that. That is a full time ass job. So when people train as nail techs, they think, right, I'm going to learn nails and I'm going to get clients, and that's fine. But what actually happens is now you've got to learn Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, Canva, CapCut, SEO, Google
Mhm,
SEO stuff, lighting, editing, different hooks and how that changes, and retention and analytics and marketing and stuff. So did you expect this?
no.
No, I didn't.
No,
And if
I
someone told,
did not. Like, I knew I would have to make content in order to, sort of put myself out there. But this is obviously how I started. I just thought I would post pictures of the work that I've done, and that would be enough. I would just
yeah,
put that out there. Whereas maybe like when Instagram first launched, that was the case.
hmm,
It was a lot easier because there was less people on it. There was like less sort of saturation, so it was easier to get the exposure. Whereas now everyone's got pretty pictures, so you have to make the other content in order to stand out and
hmm.
show people why they should book you. So it's not as simple as just finishing your client, putting that on your grid, and bang, that's enough content.
Yeah, because as the expectations of clients have gone up and finding out like more information about you and what you offer and stuff, instead of just like you used to Google it and hope that
Mhm,
it would load and then be like, oh, well, that's near me. I'll see a picture. I'll just go there. Now
mhm,
they're like, well, what are you creating? What are you doing? What's it like to be with you? Is this
mhm,
somebody I'm going to get on with?
mhm,
It's such a different, nuanced sort of version finding someone who's going to offer you a service nowadays than it
mhm.
used to be. And it's like, would you have started if you knew that this would be the case?
Yeah, I'd have still done it because I do love it and I don't regret my decision. But I think it would have been nice to know what I was getting myself in for, I guess. I
Definitely.
mean, it wouldn't have put me off as such, but I think I'd have done a lot more because, like you said, like we do our nail training and that's kind of it. Whereas I think I'd have tried to learn more about that side of it, like simultaneously, so that I kind
Mhm.
of knew more about social media and, like you say, like SEO and analytics and all that sort of jazz. Because
I
the reality is, there's a lot of like if I search nail techs near me, there's loads of them. So your content, like you said, does have to show people why should they choose you?
mhm.
Why should they go with you over the other 20 people that are within, a reasonable distance from them?
I think adding it all up, I've spent more time learning about SEO and viral hooks and different styles of content and how to adapt your content for Instagram or Pinterest or YouTube than I have on my basic nail training,
Yeah, for sure. And I would
which is
say
insane.
at this stage of my business, because as I say, I'm not fully booked at the moment, so I'm not like hands on doing nails for like 8, 10 hours a day, whatever.
Mm.
Um, Over the course of the last year, I have put more time into content and understanding my content and, doing learning around social media and all of that sort of stuff, and making content in Canva or CapCut or whatever it is, editing, all that sort of stuff. If you added up the hours, I probably have put more into that at this point, because obviously I'm trying to get fully booked. So I'm really focusing on the marketing side of things. Whereas I suppose when you're fully booked, you still have to do it, but you're hands on more.
Yeah.
But I
To
would
be fair,
definitely
I put
say,
less effort. I put way less effort into promoting myself or putting any content out that's, like, going to attract people
yeah.
than, like,
You're like, I don't have appointments anyway to give you. So
no, 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 that makes me sound really arrogant. More
no.
so that I don't like I don't like advertising myself because it makes me
Hmm.
feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So if I can just put out some pictures with some random comment and like caption, I'm like, "Ah, yo, peace, you all right?" Like
Mm.
that's because I'm not very good at the whole like, "Hi, I'm Susie. This is my dinosaur and this is a rock. Please come and see me." Like I'm not great at that and it makes me kind of cringe inside. So I'm like, oh, that's not me. But whereas like you're really good at putting out stuff just going, this is what I offer and this is me and I'm fabulous. And I'm just like, hello, I am a goblin in a corner. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but sometimes I think that content is like better because A, it doesn't take you hours,
Yeah.
and B, the whole point of the content is to show you. So, but like even if that isn't like a talking head video as such, like you said, even if it is that you put like just photos up with, I don't know, a commentary across them in like, I don't know, weird, just the
Well,
way that
yes.
you talk, and just your kind of vibe, that's still putting your personality across. And
I mean,
there's plenty of other people that feel like a goblin in the corner that are looking for a fellow goblin in the corner.
we love our corner goblins. They are my
And they'd
favorite.
see that and think, I want to go and be a goblin in the corner with her.
Fair. That is fair. And I do, yeah, I do have a lot of clients who are like, yes, I saw your video and I liked how awkward you were. So I'm coming to see you. And
Yeah.
I'm like, ah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's why we're friends. The first video I saw of you, I was like, she's super anxious and awkward and just this like, and I was like, I can relate to that. I want to be her friend.
And then it just, you manifested it.
Yeah, I did. I did. I just think like sometimes I do think I spend too long on my content. Like sometimes because I enjoy Canva. I do love Canva. I can't say
You
that like I
love
see it as a
Canva.
chore. So I do like to create like carousels and stuff like that, which obviously takes a little bit more time than just like a talking head. If I do a talking head, it's
Yeah.
like a bit quicker, but I don't like to do them all the time because I don't enjoy it. Whereas at least if I do it in Canva, it takes me longer, but I enjoy it more.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. You enjoy that. But you enjoy that. Whereas I'm like, it's amazing. I love Canva, but oh my God, it's the most frustrating thing to use sometimes. I'm like, just give me like Photoshop and Figma and stuff, and I can use that for wireframe. Like I can wireframe an entire website, but absolutely I cannot be arsed with Canva.
See,
It's so bad.
I don't know the first thing about Photoshop
Photoshop, yeah. I'm actually really good at Photoshop. Yeah. I don't use it. I haven't used it in quite a while, but
from
I
your
was really
in
good
a
at it.
previous life.
Oddly enough, somebody from my previous life contacted me just on Friday asking me to go and shoot for a very big company that I used to work for a lot at the end of June, start of July. And I just went,
Oh,
no, I don't have time for that.
I don't do that anymore.
I just went, I'm sorry, I don't do it anymore and I just don't have time. Sorry. Like, where am I meant to fit that in?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They wanted me all over the bloody country. I was like, absolutely not.
Well,
No, very strange. But is it fair, do you think, that social media is essentially mandatory?
I don't think it's fair, but I think it's the reality of the world that we live in. Like we've said before, yes, you could do it without it. Do I think it would be? I mean, I was going to say, do I think it'd be easy? Doing it via social media is not easy, but I think if you didn't use social media at all, you would struggle a lot because in 2026, everyone is Googling or like going on social media. If we want a service, we're not thinking, let me go and, go down the local shop and look at the notice board,
Yeah.
or we're thinking, oh, let me just pick up my phone and search nails near
Yeah.
me, nails in this area, whatever it is. That is the reality of the world that we live in, and there's no avoiding that.
I think you'd have to be in a studio or a shop or a hairdresser or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
If you was in a place where you've got a lot of, like, just footfall, a lot of organic people
Yeah.
seeing you, walking past, or, yeah, if you're renting somewhere in a salon that's already very busy and they might, have people coming in, they can't fit them in, so you sort of get clients that way. But I think if
Yeah.
you're working for yourself,
Yes. I just think it would be
then
impossible.
yeah, then social media is kind of just a part of life now, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just, and I suppose it changes, depending on your demographic. If you were maybe looking at wanting to do, uh, I don't know, manicures for elderly people in nursing homes and you wanted to sort of go mobile to, then of course you're going to be more reliant on going to those places, leaving leaflets and stuff like that. So of course there's exceptions to every rule, but for your average person nowadays, social media is, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So do you think, are we seeing reality?
No,
So if you see a tech online with like 30 or 40,000 followers with brand deals and a lovely studio area and beautiful videos, but like, are they fully booked? Are they profitable? Are they
mhm,
actually doing that many clients? Like, nobody actually knows.
no.
That's the thing.
I mean, social media is not reality at all on any level. Like, none of us are showing everything. Even the people that are, trying very hard to be authentic won't be sharing everything with you.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times where I'm not happy with something, or I'm, not got enough bookings. I'm not on social media crying about it because my clients are on social media. Like, my clients are going to see my story. I don't want to put across that actually I'm not getting clients or I'm not fully, because that might put the people that do come to me off.
Hmm.
So you want it to, there's got to be that balance. Yes, you want to be realistic. Yes, you want to be authentic, but you don't want to, like, be begging almost, because that will put
Yeah.
people off. So, and like I've said to you earlier, like, I've had people message me recently where I've put up a few posts of, like, before, like, this time last year versus like my work now and things like that. And I've had people messaging me like, oh, I can't wait to get where you are, like, but being like, really, oh, I really want, like, your success and this, that, and the other, which of course it's lovely, but I always have to remind them that, like, I'm not, yes, my work has improved massively, but and my business, of course, it has improved. It's doing well, but it's not doing as well as it seems that my social media is giving the impression of, because I do have a lot of followers. I don't have, 10,000, 20,000. I don't have a big following in that respect, but I suppose in terms of a smaller nail tech a year in, I have
Hmm.
gained a
You've got
good amount
loads of
of
followers.
followers. Does that equal bookings and success? No, it doesn't. I know people that are fully booked that have 300 followers.
Yeah.
So it means that the number of followers means literally nothing. And I
Yeah.
wish I hadn't been so focused on that in the beginning, because I did in the beginning think, oh, I need to get loads of followers and I'll be successful. But no, you won't, because a lot of the time when you start, you're sharing your work and your progress and your nail art, or things like that, what products you're using, what brushes you've discovered, and that in itself, that kind of content attracts nail techs.
Hmm.
So actually, probably 80% of my followers are nail techs. They're not people that are booking with me. Yes, that is slowly changing now because I've put more effort into understanding my content and using it in a different way, but it's still a majority of people that are never going to book in with me.
But social media does create that illusion of
Oh,
visibility
100%.
equals success.
Absolutely. It
Yeah,
does. It does. Like, even now, like, sometimes I'll have to check myself because I'll find myself being like, oh, well, this person's got this many followers. Why haven't I got that many? And then I have to like remind myself it doesn't matter, because
yeah,
then I can quite easily go and look and find people that have got like a tenth of the followers that I've got, that actually their business is fully booked and they're taking clients day in, day out, and their business is really great. So you have to just keep reminding yourself of that. And like we said at the beginning, and sort of like the kind of topic of the episode, some people with those big followings, some people, they aren't actually nail techs. Some of the people that are sharing, tutorials or these kind of trends that go viral and these looks, they're not always created by a nail tech. Some people are just nail content creators,
yeah.
and we look at them and, they've gone viral because they are, bringing out new looks, or they're, doing these things, but they're also not sitting for 8 hours a day with clients. They are spending 8 hours a day making content, learning about content. That is their job. They are content creators. Their subject of their content just happens to be nails. Whereas if you
Yeah.
are a nail tech first, that becomes harder to achieve. And actually, going viral isn't well, it shouldn't be your aim if you want to be a nail tech.
I had that when I did my cat eye series of like
Mhm.
different arty looks, in that I was doing clients and also trying to fit in making little videos as well, which I mean, they don't take a huge amount of time, but it's like the setup and thinking of things to do and stuff.
Mhm.
And I had a couple of messages from people going, this brand did a very similar one, but I know that like their content creation team were given 8 hours to create that. Like, just that
Mhm.
was what they had to do.
Yeah.
That was, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I had to do that in 20 minutes because that's all the time that I had."
Mhm.
So, so you have to remember that what some brands pump out is like 8 hours, well, sort of like
Mhm.
organized, and it's failed a couple of times and it's
Yeah.
redone, and like, and the
Professional
lighting's
setups,
changed.
and by people that have got degrees and, kind of qualifications in that specific thing, and they spend all
Yeah.
day understanding the algorithms and the changes, and they're really up to date on any changes in terms and conditions on these platforms and what the platforms are sort of preferencing and things like that. When you're a full-time nail tech, you haven't got time for that. I haven't
No.
got time to go and look what's Instagram change. I rely on content creators about content creation to
Yeah,
teach me these
totally.
things. I follow quite a few people who are content creators, and they make content on how to make content, or the algorithm on things. That's but that can't be my full-time job, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we all started our own businesses to have more freedom and more time,
Money.
not have two
Money.
full-time jobs. Like, I can't
Yeah.
have two full-time jobs. If I wanted two full-time jobs, I'd have just stayed in employment, you know?
Yeah. But that's part of like the hidden cost of it, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like, what does content actually cost? Because yes, it's maybe costing you a little bit of money for like products or whatever, but it's time.
Yeah.
That's the thing that it costs you, is time. Like,
100%.
a reel can take you 30 minutes to film and 30 minutes to edit and 15 minutes to do caption and SEO, and then
Mhm,
15 minutes
mhm.
to like work out what you should change for each different platform and stuff. And that's 90 minutes. Whereas 90 minutes could make you 40, £50
Mhm.
doing a client. But obviously at 1 in the morning when you're lying in bed doing it, that's not maybe practical,
Yeah,
you know?
that's why when you look at your pricing, actually putting your like hourly rate, say, at minimum
Hmm.
wage is a ridiculous thing to do. Like, because what about all the hidden hours? What about all of the hours that you are putting into your business? Actually, even if you're saying, like, for me, when I work my pricing out, I'm looking at say £20 an hour. Even at £20 an hour, I can guarantee you that if you added up all of the hours that I spend making content, posting content, replying to messages, updating photos on my website, for example, ordering stock, all of those things, if you added that up throughout the month, I wouldn't even be making minimum wage for all of those hours.
See, with you saying that, what actually scares me is that I don't stop working.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's
Like,
the reality for a lot of small business owners. That's the thing you don't realise when you start your own business is, at least in the beginning, it will take over your life.
yeah. Like, from the second I wake up, I'll have messages to reply to, or people have sent me inspo, or I'm like, oh, I need to remember and reorder that, or oh, I need to remember and go and research that,
Mhm.
or oh, I need to look at what I'm going to do for this person on a nail set that they'd sent me a picture of, like, a bit of fluff on the ground for. And do you know, like,
Yeah.
and it's constant, and then all day you're getting messages asking questions. What about this? What about that? Can we change this? Can we do that? Can I reschedule? And I'm like, that. And even up until like 2 or 3 in the morning, I get messages from people.
Yeah,
And I'm like, that's,
you need to set some boundaries with the late night messaging. But yeah, because every time that you're doing training, whether it's like official training or whether it's you're looking on YouTube because your client sent you an inspo picture and you're not really confident that you can do it, so you don't just want to wing it on the day, you want to go away and
yeah.
have a little play around, or all of the time that you are researching content creation and
Hmm.
marketing and all of those hours, it's still work.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
starting
100%.
your own business is not for the faint-hearted. You will work harder and longer hours than you've ever worked in employment.
Do you know, I still really like it though.
100%. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't. But I think that's one of the biggest things that, like, you're kind of blind to when you come into it, because you just think, I'm going to have my own business and I'm going to work for myself. And that means that I get to choose my own hours and I get to do this and I get to do that. And I can go on holiday whenever I want. And I don't have to book time off with anyone. My manager's not going to have to approve everything. But actually,
Your
and
clients are your managers
like,
in that
I
sense.
hope at least that the further down the line you get, and once you are fully booked and things are running a little bit more smoothly, you can even it out. You will still probably work more than you've ever worked for a company, but
Yeah.
especially in the beginning, you have to, in order to make it successful, you have to put everything into it. You have to throw yourself in fully in order, and that's why you have to love what you do, because if you don't love it, that will very quickly turn into resentment and you'll hate your life.
Oddly
Whereas at
enough.
least if you love it, then you're enjoying it, even though there's obviously going to be days where you're absolutely exhausted and you think you hate it. But when you step back and actually think about it, you'll realize, okay, I do love it. And I
Yeah.
think with content, that's why you have to try really hard to make content that you enjoy. Like, if you prefer doing off the cuff little talking reels, do it. If you prefer sitting in Canva and playing about for ages, because you have to get some enjoyment out of whatever you're doing, because
Hmm.
you're going to be doing it so often that you need to get a little bit of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
if you do
Oddly
really
enough,
hate
being,
content, post once a week. It's not that deep. Like, if you post consistently once a week, that will be good enough. Like, as long as you're doing it consistently. If you say, actually, I can only put one post out on a Sunday evening, that gives me all week to work it out, and every Sunday I'm going to make a post and I'm going to share a few stories throughout the week. If that's all you can do, fine. Yes, it might take a little bit longer to gain traction, but as long as you do it consistently, like, that's enough. You don't have to post every day.
yeah, that leads me on to, like, the burnout that nobody actually talks about, because the things you hear consistently are, post more, show your face, go live, post every day, post 5 times a day, blah blah blah. But what if you're, like, introverted or neurodivergent or a parent or a carer for, like, disabled, like, relatives, or elderly parents or something, or exhausted, or already have a full-time job. Like, loads of people start off doing this as a side thing to their full-time job.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
like, at what point does making that stop helping your business because actually it's draining you and draining the time you can spend on your business because you've got such a limited like window of time to do it in. So, and I think it's a conversation that is really important to have because not everyone can just throw themselves into, yeah, I'm going to be full time. This is what I'm
Yeah.
doing and this is my job. Because people really need to remember when they're looking at other accounts and like maybe really large follower, or even like just mid-sized following people on accounts. It's, if they're posting consistently and they've got brand deals and they've got this and they've got that, it's more than likely that this is their full-time job and
Yeah.
they're maybe halving, they're maybe doing 2 days or 3 days a week. Now, I know there are some nail techs or quite a lot of nail techs that are working pretty much full-time doing nails, but a lot of their content isn't aimed towards getting new clients. It isn't aimed towards
Mhm.
growing. It is just aimed towards being like, yo, I've done this. This is inspo. Look at them. They're fucking banging
Yeah. Yeah,
because
yeah, they're
they've
just
got to that stage.
yeah, yeah. I would say the only time that I've felt genuinely burnt out since starting my business has been because of social media, not because of nails. Like, I've never got to a
Yeah.
point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm dreading this client coming in. I don't want to do nails anymore. It's always been, yeah, you're a lot busier than I am though. So maybe I will. But like, it's always been like, I can't bother to post content. Like, I'm just at my limit with, I've got nothing to post this week. And I
Yeah.
think as much as we're saying it's necessary tool and you need it, it's what you also have to be able to do is just separate the fact that it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like
Take a
we said,
step
if
back.
you can only post once a week, or if you do, like, so I haven't posted on Instagram for a week,
I
and
don't know when was the last time I
that's
posted
been
on it.
ages since I haven't done that. But obviously I was away from Friday to like Monday, so I wasn't I didn't I never I mean, we all know I don't get my arse in gear enough to schedule and be, pre-planned. So that was gone. And there was a few days where I just didn't do it. Now, this time last year, I probably would have panicked about that and been like,
You
oh my
would have.
God, it's all good. Whereas I think you've just got to think to yourself, like, I'm human, I'm allowed a break.
Yeah.
And I've, s- I've still posted while I was away, I posted a few stories just to kind of little
You
glimpse into
did. We
my
got to
life.
see what you were doing.
Because, you are just trying to still keep that account warm, still trying to let Instagram know I haven't disappeared completely, I'm still
I'm not
here.
dead.
But actually, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. Is it going to have a massive impact on my business that I haven't posted in
No.
a week? No, it's not.
No.
So just don't be afraid to just have a break if you need a break. If you don't
Yeah.
want to post, don't post. Try and make it
Exactly.
enjoyable for yourself. If you can't make it enjoyable for yourself and you really hate doing it, don't do it.
Pay somebody to do it for you.
I wish I could. I live
Get like
I
a
live
virtual
for the
assistant.
day. I live for the day where I earn enough money that I can just have a social media manager. I can't lie,
But
guys. If I ever really make it making, super, super money, I will be saying someone else, I'll send you some footage of my nails and my appointments and you do your thing.
no, I know of a few, like quite a few nail techs who've got quite big followings who have used social media managers previously. They've maybe not advertised it to people that they've done that, but they've used
Oh,
social
I'd be
media
telling you
people.
left, right, and centre. I'd be shouting out my social media manager for saving my
So
life.
would I.
I think that's the danger. There's nothing wrong in doing it, but I think it's very difficult when you're not being honest because that again is where the unrealistic expectation come from because we see these people and it's a
Oh,
bit
I
like
don't.
when you see like celebrities
Yes.
and they've got all these followers and they're on tour all the time and like you see people that are like doing so well and you don't always think like they've probably got a nanny, someone that makes their meals. They're not doing everything that you have to do. Like you said, if you've got children, you might see a content creator, they've not got children, they might not, their life might be relatively calm and they don't have a lot going on. You might have a lot of other stuff going on. this is why that comparison thing, you just can't have, and not that you can't let yourself do it because it's impossible not to, I think. I think
Yeah,
we all do it sometimes, but you have to give yourself that reality check of like, well, actually, I've got to give myself a break because you've got children and you've got to do the school run, or, you've got animals to look after, or you've got parents to look after. You're running about like a blue ass fly trying to keep on top of everything. Everybody's life is different. We all have different pressures and priorities on us.
yeah,
So you've got to just give yourself a little bit of break and think you don't know whether that person that's got 100,000 followers has got someone looking after their children after school so that they can do work. You don't
yeah,
know the ins and outs of people's lives, and I think we have to stop ourselves from like assuming that we know these people and that we know what's going on in their life, because all of the hard things they're probably not advertising. Like, I don't advertise on my stories when I have a really bad day with my mental health and I can't get out of bed and I'm just like rotting for the day and the dishes are
yeah,
piling up. Or I don't advertise on my stories when I have to go and look after my mum and pick up her medication and, do all of these things. I don't advertise that because we're all entitled to our own private life, and it's
yeah,
got nothing to do with my business. It's got nothing to do with nails, and I don't want to splash that everywhere.
exactly.
So it's easy to, look at even my account and think, oh, well, she's got this many followers and she's posting on her stories doing this. That doesn't mean you've seen everything about my life in that day.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't know about.
yeah, no, 100%. So if we think about like there's this I don't want to call it a problem, but it's like an influencer problem essentially.
Hmm.
Whereas are some people better content creators than nail techs? Because I'm not saying that they're bad, but sometimes like they'll make amazing content for like mediocre nails. And then you've got some people doing amazing nails for like very average content because they just don't have time or they don't have
Yeah,
the
yeah.
capabilities or understanding of like lighting setups or something, but which one gets rewarded the most online?
Oh,
And it's
I would say
usually the
online
content.
content creation for sure.
Yeah,
Like, what you've got to think as well is if you're sat there, like if I decide, oh, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to do a nail art look and I'm going to film it, I can sit there on my swatch stick or even do it on my own hand, and I can wipe it off as many times as I want. I can do it over as I might only show you one look, but I might have done it 5 times before it came out right. I can turn the press on stand at different angles to make it a bit easier for myself.
right.
This is why when I do character art at the moment, I always pre-paint it because it's much easier to paint. Hi, Nigel's butt. It's much easier to get like a press on stand and paint a character on it than it is on someone's hand, because I can turn it, and,
100%.
and I always do. I always turn it round and paint it at that angle and things like that. And it is easier to make content if that's all you're doing that day. It's easier to do that nail art look on a swatch stick than it is.
Yeah,
And sometimes like these nail art looks, you might think, oh, that's amazing, this new viral thing that's going around or whatever. Is it always realistic for a client? No, it isn't. Like
yeah,
some of these looks, if you're going to recreate the things that a lot of like content creators make, if you're going to sit and recreate that on a client, you need to be realistic that that's probably going to take you like 5 hours. You see this
yeah,
really extravagant D things. You are not going to be able to do that in 2 hours.
yeah.
It's not going to happen.
You can
It's
maybe do it
not.
on one nail in 2 hours, but you're
Yeah,
not going to
yeah,
do it on
yeah,
10.
yeah. Like, so it's totally different. And just because someone can sit there and make these flamboyant nail art looks, does that necessarily mean that they can build the perfect structure if a client was sat in
Yeah,
front of them? No, it doesn't. Do they understand nail anatomy or product chemistry or things like that? That when you're a content creator as well, you can get away with not using the right lamp or not
hmm,
using top quality products because you're not using it on a person. You're not. You can get. Yeah, I still don't agree that you should, because if you're part of that influencer culture, you have to accept that you are potentially then influencing people to do unsafe practices. But at the same time, the risk isn't the same for you on a swatch stick. Like sometimes I'll like there's times where I'm maybe sat there and I'm doing a practice set for someone on swatches, and a minute feels ages to sit in the lamp.
Oh, 30
I
seconds.
can't be bothered to wait for the 4 minutes.
Yeah,
So I whack it out at 30 seconds and I do the next layer, because
yeah,
that's not going in on someone's hand. If it's not fully cured
exactly.
all the way through, it's either just
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
go in the bin or it's gonna go in my little nail tip graveyard. It's
Yeah,
not going
exactly.
to harm anybody. So you can cut corners a little bit more as well, I think, if you're a content
Yeah.
creator, because you don't have anyone's safety to think about.
It is very frustrating because I mean, we all feel it when you see like really people with really big followings, and yes, they're nail techs. You don't know if they're full time, part time, whatever, and they're creating this content and stuff. And then you're, as techs, you're looking at it and you're like, but that structure isn't right,
Mm,
or that application isn't very good. And you're like, but what makes them different to like me or you or like the next like Sally down the road or
mhm,
whatever? Like, and you're just looking at it thinking, but what makes me not good enough for that? And that comparison, and
mhm,
you're like, maybe they just got in at the right time. Maybe they just have the personality that people like. They love that personality. Maybe you're just too yourself. Whereas a lot of people like really vanillify themselves for
mhm,
being online. They're very like sweet. They're very nice. They're very like they come across as just being somebody that in reality they're different.
mhm.
Like, whereas I know online, I try and come across as being like less sarcastic, but it never works. And online, I am essentially exactly the same person as you'll get
Yeah.
in person. Like, I maybe swear a bit more in person. I definitely swear a bit more in person, but like, and I tell much darker jokes that I probably can't tell online
Mhm,
for many legal reasons.
mhm.
But like, at least people know like that's kind, and I'm always very open
Yeah,
about that, and you're very open about like who you are and stuff. Whereas
yeah,
there's a lot of these larger accounts that people think that they know this person, and then it's, and if you know that person and you chat to them, you know that that
yeah.
isn't their real personality. That's their social media
Yeah. I
personality.
think if
And
your goal is to become a content creator and you wanna go viral, you have to appeal to the masses. Whereas for
yeah,
people like us, I'm not trying to appeal to everybody. I'm trying to appeal to a certain group of people that I want sat in the chair next to me, and therefore I can be a little bit more myself. Whereas
yeah,
if I want brands to work with me and I want the masses to love me as like an influencer, you have to have a personality that is gonna, maybe be a little bit less controversial, a little bit more appealing to the wider people. Yes, you will get some people that go viral because they are controversial, but those people need to have a very thick skin because it won't all be positive engagement that you get. But I think, like you say, you have to have a different personality in order to go viral than maybe you do for just wanting people like your ideal client in your chair.
yeah. I mean, I've got a face on me at the moment. If people aren't watching, I'm sitting kind of going, but to me, that just seems so.
Fake. The reality is that influencer culture is very fake. It is. It
I know,
isn't
but
based on
do you know,
reality. It isn't, it is all about public perception and, things like that. It's all about how you're perceived and, whether or not people buy into you as a person. Like,
I kind of
the
hate
Molly
that.
May effect has taken over the world. I've seen a lot of people posting about it today actually, because people were like, oh, if we all shared like our local small businesses in the same way that we've just, everybody's reshared Molly May's had a bloody baby, then we'd all be a bit more successful. But it is like, in influencer culture is not reality. It isn't.
No, you're right. Who's Molly May, by the way?
I love that. I love that. That says all you need to know about Susie. She doesn't even know who we're talking about. She was a
I'm
Love
sitting here
Island.
like,
She was a Love
should
Island contestant in 2019, and she is probably, I don't even know if you would say arguably, or whether it is just a statement of fact that she is the most successful person to ever come out of it.
what does she do?
She's an influencer.
But what does she
I
do?
mean, she's like fashion influencing. She has like her own like clothing brand now, and yeah, I mean, she's just done a lot of brand deals. She used to be
Why? What does she do?
because she's young and pretty, and the nation saw
Yeah, but
her on Love Island.
millions of
Yeah,
people are young and
I'm not
pretty.
saying that's, I don't know, but it is, I don't know how she's done it. I think there is a level of that kind of like her being in the right place at the right time, and she was quite early on in the influencer thing. I think it's a lot harder to become an influencer now because everybody wants to be one, but people just became obsessed with her, and she's just had her second baby. Do you know who Tyson Fury is? You
I
must know
know the
who.
name. I
He's like
couldn't pick him out of a
heavyweight
lineup.
boxer, heavyweight like champion boxer, and she's dating
Like
his
Mike
brother.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Why is that why he's called
No,
Tyson?
I don't know. I don't know why they called him Tyson. I have no idea where the name came from. But she's dating his younger brother, who was also on Love Island. And they've just had their second baby. And within like 24 hours, probably not even 24
Why
hours,
does anyone
it
care?
had like over 200,000 reposts and reshares, and because people go mad for it, but people will see, you know, their best friend's business page and will just scroll straight past it. But
Like I know her.
they celebrate Molly May's baby as if it's like their own niece or nephew or something. And because influencer culture is crazy.
I know her name. Obviously, I know her name because like people mention the
But
name, and I think
is
I've referenced her, being like Molly May. I don't know who I'm fucking talking about. I have no idea what this lassie looks like. Could not tell you. Like I could walk past her in the street and be like, "That's a nice tracksuit."
she would love to walk. She'd probably love to walk past you in the street because I imagine she probably gets fucking tired of everyone knowing who she is.
No, like okay, no, okay. That's I mean that okay.
But yeah, that
I
is
just
just
find that
influencer
bizarre.
culture, isn't it? Like if she comes out and she's wearing a certain top or a certain pair of shoes, that item of clothing will be sold out within a day.
Cough.
I honestly, people go mad for her, like
What
mental.
demographic is this for?
Well, people younger than me for sure, because I don't.
Sorry,
I know who she is, or because when she was on Love Island, I was a big fan. Like I'm not.
I have
I don't
never
watch Love
watched Love
Island anymore.
Island.
But like earlier Love Island days, I was a big Love Island fan. So that's how I kind of know her. But I've never been influenced by her. Like I've never bought something because she's like put it out there.
So
But
she's got a baby. If she's got kids now, I'm assuming she'll have like a kids brand of clothing or something, probably in
yeah,
Sainsbury's or George at
I
Asda
don't
or
think
something.
she does at the moment, but
Oh, give it
she
time.
obviously gets brand deals with companies that do it. Like, so she'll, you know, obviously like put her kids in certain things and then everybody will buy them.
All right, so there's pimping her kids out then.
Arguably, yeah. Yeah, she's not one of these celebrities that hides her children. Her children are featured in her social media and like when she's done because she's got a documentary on Amazon Prime. I have to say I watched the first season. I haven't watched any more.
Season!
Yeah, well, it was the only free part. It was a free part of the first season, but there is like another season out, and I think there's a season 3 coming. Yeah, and she does. So I believe before Love Island, we're going off on a right tangent here, but before
Sorry,
Love
guys.
Island, so she does a lot of like YouTube, like vlogging, but not like literally just vlogging like her outfits and day in the life or skincare or beauty. Like, yeah, she was very big on
Well, like,
YouTube.
understand like the skincare, beauty, like fashion, all of that kind of stuff. I just don't. So, like, she's not right. I don't understand why we're making people famous for not actually doing something important.
yeah.
Like, I don't know, like doctors, people like people coming up with the cure for a cancer, people coming up with scientific advancements, strong people who are rallying against violence against discriminated people. Like, why aren't we
Mhm.
making the right people famous?
I I don't disagree with that at all.
So,
I 100% agree. There are far too many celebrities and very rich and famous people that have done nothing of any real importance or skill or anything. And that's not hate to them. I'm sure they're very lovely people, except for Kim Kardashian.
or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or all of
Like
them.
you say, there are so many people in the world doing incredible things that deserve recognition. But that, just to bring it back to nails,
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
no,
We can cut
we
all of
both
that
went
out.
off. But
I just don't
that is
understand.
exactly the same in terms of like you might have a nail tech that's got incredible skill and has, worked their butt off to learn everything they can about nail anatomy and structure and, is doing the best nail tech work possible. And they
Mhm.
could get overshadowed by, someone who knows absolutely nothing about nails, but just happened to do this really amazing nail art look one time. And they get
Yeah.
overshadowed, So the thing with like influencer culture and all of this kind of stuff is that skill does not equal visibility or virality. Like those two things don't always match up. Yes, sometimes you'll get someone that, has a massive following and a massive platform and also has amazing skill. This is not me saying all people like that
No,
are
there's
crap, but it's
no,
just to
because there's
kind
such
of show that those your skill level doesn't necessarily equate to
don't
success.
put don't put all of your self-worth onto the numbers
Yeah,
on social media is what we're saying. Because yeah, there's amazing. I mean, look at Shan. She's got loads of followers. Shan from Clogasmic, Shan from Nailcraft,
Nailcraft,
Shan, all the fucking
Nails by
Shans, right?
Shan, all the Shans.
Yeah.
I
All the
might change my
Shans, okay?
name,
I know.
Something
They've
about
got
the name.
they have that special sauce of like like loads of followers because they're relatable and fabulous, but because also they've got the skill to back it up.
Mhm.
They are all incredibly skilled women,
Mhm.
incredibly strong.
And they've all been working at it for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So just because we're saying it, if you've got loads of followers, that doesn't mean that doesn't automatically mean that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
The two things are
Of
not
course.
like things. Two things can be true at once. You can be fabulous and have loads of followers, but also on that respect, you can be fabulous and have 15
Mhm.
followers, or you can be a content creator who creates amazing looks for content and have thousands of followers, but you wouldn't make a great nail tech
Yeah.
in real life doing clients all the time. So anyway, just saying,
And yeah,
just so
oh
we're
yeah,
covering all the
yeah.
bases there.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's some people that, have worked really hard to get where they are. But yes, there is also some people that make one viral video and, that's
Yeah.
doesn't it
Yeah.
and the same as like what we're saying is the numbers just don't matter. Like and it took me a long time to realize this because I did used to get super excited at like, oh, I've hit 100 followers. Oh, I've hit 200 followers. Like, this is amazing. Because I think it does, unfortunately, because of society and the way that things are now, it does give you that little boost of like, oh, people like me. It
Yeah.
is that kind of that vanity and that kind of ego that we all
Yeah.
have inside of us that's very easy to get carried away by the numbers. And like, I remember hitting 1,000 followers and being like, oh my God, I've made it. Like, I'm the
Oh,
best. Because
I
I'd
don't
never
look.
ever had like 1,000 followers on any Instagram that I'd made in my life. I'd never managed to hit that. So that was like this is the thing I'm meant to be doing. But I very quickly learned that actually it doesn't mean success. Yes, it's nice. Yes, it's a little dopamine hit and it's it's a nice bit of validation, which sometimes we all need, of course we do.
Yeah.
But it isn't what you should be
I
measuring your success or your self-worth on.
I Yeah, I used to like maybe this time last year, I used to panic and measure a lot of like my self-worth on whether
Mhm.
people followed me, and I would be
100%.
I would be looking at it going, "Oh my God, 20 people have unfollowed me
Yeah.
after
Oh my
this
god, I'm
one
shit.
post."
Everybody
And
hates me.
like, I'm just going to give up. And I put so much emphasis on this. And eventually I just went, do you know what? I'm not going to look at it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm not going to look at it anymore. I have apps. I couldn't tell you how many followers I've got
Mhm.
across the board. I have
Yeah.
absolutely no idea. And when people are talking, I'm like, probably about 1,000 people. Cause that's in my head. I'm like, I was probably about 1,000 people like
Mhm.
across. I know I've got more on Facebook
I
because the
remember
Facebook
I remember when
like
we
is
was at the
weird.
nail order event in the hotel, just like chilling the night before, and you were like, "Oh, I think I've got like," no, you'd seen someone, and you said, "Oh, I wish I had that many followers," and I was like, "What are you talking about, woman? You've got more than that." And then you were like, "No, I haven't." You have, Susie. I know you have.
It just but
And then you went
that's
on.
what I
You were
mean.
like, "Oh yeah." I forget that. You were, like, so in awe of this person that had, like, 1,000 followers, and then I was like, "You have more than that."
So you see, but I have actively chosen not to
Yeah.
place any of my self-worth onto any of the
Mhm.
numbers because bot accounts get deleted.
Yeah.
People follow the amount of people that follow you, and then if you don't follow them back within 3 days, they unfollow you and
Mhm.
then follow you back again. So yeah, I actively just choose not to look at numbers because I
Mhm.
don't want. I would love to have 30,000 followers, 20. I would love to have 2,000 followers. Like it would be great. I'd be like, "Oh my God, look at that."
Mhm.
But if I look at the numbers, then I get the fear.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, well, what if I make these people unhappy? What if I'm too controversial? What if I'm too bland? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? So I just don't fucking look at them
Mhm. Mhm.
because it doesn't matter because the right people will find me
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
eventually.
It doesn't equal success. All you should be focusing on is, is your work improving? Are you getting more clients? Like, are you personally, in your circumstances, moving forward? Not,
Yeah.
do other people like you? Have you got these followers? How many post likes have you got on a post? It doesn't mean anything to your business or your income.
Nope. The right people will eventually find you. If you post your stuff, post a bit of yourself, be a silly sausage, people will find you and they'll chill with you and it'll be cool. And yeah, it's hard at first. And sometimes it can be slow, sometimes it can be fast. But if you just keep doing it, like what clients actually want to know, can I book? How do I
Mhm.
book? Do my nails last? Do
Yep.
you know what you're talking about? Are you nice?
Mhm.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't give a shit about your backdrops, your DSLR camera, which to be honest, I wouldn't really use a DSLR to
Yeah.
film any nail stuff now. Studio lights, microphones, subscriptions, your editing software, they don't give a
Yeah.
flying
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah, they don't care about
What they
any of
care
that.
about is, am I going to feel safe here? Am I going to get a banging set of nails? Am I going to be made to feel welcome?
Mhm.
Are they going to last?
Yeah, that's it. That's all they care about.
That's it.
Mhm.
Genuinely, that's all that they care about. So yes, the content creation is phenomenal and it is wonderful. And there's people out there doing phenomenal content
Oh, of
creation.
course, and we do need them because 'cause I've learnt a lot from you know,
Exactly. And
they
I
are
learned from
necessary.
people. But it doesn't need to be a viral bit of content. You don't have to compare yourself to people who have got 50 million followers. You don't need to compare yourself to any of the stuff that's going on. What you need to look at is, can I learn something? Is this valuable to me? Awesome. I like this person. Like, I like what they're using. I like what they're doing. I need to stay in my lane and do all the things that I want to do to make me feel valuable, to make me feel like fulfilled because I don't need to be that person over there
Mhm,
because
mhm.
that person over there is that person over there. You need to just you do you, bitch. There, that's it. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it. So if Instagram and Facebook and all of that died tomorrow, if every platform disappeared, who would still have a business? Think of it this way. Who would have a business? Would it still matter for client retention that you've already got, referrals from word of mouth, reputation, your local visibility and your reviews? Because remember, the internet's made us so fucking global that
Mhm.
we aren't going to, like, I'm in Edinburgh. I'm not going to get a client from Kansas in fucking America. You know,
Yeah.
some wonderful lady in the middle of Malaysia ain't going to book with me
Mhm.
like, unless she's on holiday, fair, but still, what matters is if you have your local client base that are
Mhm.
going to refer you, you can hand out little flyers to people. If the internet or Instagram or social media disappeared tomorrow, you would have that, but
Mhm.
things aren't going to matter if that disappeared. Like, these people aren't going to have a job doing viral views, trending audios, follower counts, content creation, because it's not going to be there. So by all means, make the content, make it as well or as bad as you want, do whatever you want with that. But remember, the people around you are the people that are going to bring others to you.
Yeah.
So if you focus on just being yourself and not comparing yourself to somebody in the middle of fucking Arkansas who's got 80 bajillion followers, that's the main thing. Focus on just showing you and showing up and when you can and doing your best and just being fabulous no matter what. There. Right.
Amen.
Right. I'm just saying, you don't need to spend 8 hours on a video.
No.
You need to just do your nails and your silly little pictures on nails and have some silly little fun because this is all just a big fucking game. Like,
Mhm.
come on now. There. Sorry, I'm really ranty. I'm really tired. So if you could have 20, 30, 40 loyal clients or 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 followers tomorrow, which one would you choose?
Oh, the loyal clients for sure. They're the ones that are going to pay my bills. They're the ones that are going to, make my business successful. I would rather that. I would much rather that because I can be myself with 30, 40 people that I like and can get on with. Social media comes with so much pressure of what if I say the wrong thing? What if, like, all it takes is one video of one thing that people perceive that you've said wrong, or they've taken it out of context, or whatever. It can all tumble on social media just as quick as it can go well, and I don't like that pressure. Much rather, I just want a successful business. I want clients that come back to me, that like my work, that I vibe with, that I'm sitting waiting for the update on their life.
Exactly. For
I
an example,
I
right.
don't want 20,000 people looking to me for answers or what I might say right or wrong, or,
I mean, I just say stuff wrong all the time, and if people can think what they want, it's fine, it's okay. But for instance, there's a Michael Jackson documentary that's just been released on Netflix,
Oh, is this the
and
verdict?
I believe so.
Yeah, I
But
haven't watched it yet, but
there is like in when you hover over something and it just starts playing,
Mhm,
they show a clip in it that says you sleep in the bed. And it's like that, is it Geordie or some boy
mhm,
say,
mhm,
oh, Michael just said you sleep in the bed. And they were laughing and stuff. And it cuts. The entire thing isn't shown. That entire section
mhm,
isn't shown. And it's where they were in a room and there was a bed. And Michael was like, no, you sleep in the bed, I'll sleep in the floor. And
mhm,
I'm not saying Michael Jackson is guilty or innocent or anything. That
mhm.
is, I have no idea what
Yeah, yeah.
happened, whatever. But the entire clip, and it is saying, and this young boy is saying, no, no, I'll sleep on the floor, you sleep in the bed. And Michael's like, no, you. That's what it was. The clip says, if you love me, you'll sleep in the bed.
Mhm,
That's the one clip
mhm,
you get. When actually there'd been a back and forth with him going, I'll sleep on the floor, you sleep in the bed, it'll be
mhm.
fine.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
ended on him going, like, just being that kind of like, I'm going to get you to sleep in the bed so you're comfortable and I can, like,
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah,
sleep on
yeah.
the floor. And
Yeah.
the end bit was like, if you love me, you would sleep in the bed. And the
Mhm.
boy's like, okay, then. But that's the only bit that they showed. So obviously, out of
It's so
context,
easily done.
it
So
sounds
easily done.
awful. When you see the entire video, you're like, but
Oh.
that's a
Mhm,
conversation you would normally have.
mhm.
If you were having to share a room
Yeah,
with like a
yeah,
minor or
that's
something,
it.
you'd
You're
be like, oh no,
arguing.
sleep over
Mhm,
there. I'm going into this corner to just
mhm,
fucking be as far away from you as possible. You
mhm.
know, so that's like, just remember,
Like, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's been so many things that I've seen on social media that I've seen the full version of,
yeah,
and then you see it clipped into a short, and you're like, "Hold on a minute, that's not what happened. That's not what the whole speech or documentary or
yeah.
whatever
Hmm.
actually said." And that's the bit with social media that, like, it can turn on you just as quickly. All it takes is one, like we see it all the time with like cancel culture these days. It takes one comment for the
Yeah.
entire world to hate you. And I don't want to
I
take that
see.
risk.
They can't. The entire world can't hate me because I already know that they hate me.
No,
Because in my brain, the entire world already hates me. So we're cool. It's okay. I'm like, yeah,
I just want my loyal clients, and
yeah,
that's
yeah, but 100%. So yeah, 20, 30, 40 clients are worth way more than brand deals that might end because you farted in a lift one day. You know,
Mhm.
like it's, yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one because,
I mean,
yes, it would
the
be
thing
nice
with
to,
brand deals is that in itself is, I mean, we could touch on this another time because otherwise we'd be here all day. But sometimes aligning with yourself with a brand can backfire, because if you align yourself really heavily with a brand and then that brand actually comes out and does something bad, you're then
yeah.
tarnished with that brush. You know,
Mhm.
there's a flip side to all of these things.
Yeah, and just taking on any Tom, Dick, or Harry brand because they'll pay you is,
Hmm.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe I've just got too more. I've got too many like models and standards.
Oh yeah, me too, for sure, for sure.
I mean, this. To be fair, this weekend has proven to me that yes, I clearly do because there's so many people out there with very, very stretchy models. Let's be honest. But if you're my client, you can come and ask me about it. But I'm not. I'm not telling people on the
Yeah.
internet.
Book an appointment and you can get all the tea.
Yeah, picking an appointment, I will tell you
You'll be having
everything.
now text travel from all over the place to book an appointment with you. No cameras, no recording equipment,
Yeah. Nobody will search you at
totally
the
off
door.
record.
Yeah. But it's true. It's just, yeah. Don't compare yourself to people with tens of thousands of people following them because, yes, they might be fabulous, but also, yes, they might have spent 9 hours creating a set and their
Mhm.
structure is still off. And they're maybe not that person behind the camera as they are in front of the camera, or maybe they're being paid to say these things. And,
Take
it's not always
everything
real.
on the internet with a pinch of salt. Thank you for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed this rather, I don't know. I'm not even going to apologize anymore, because if you're still here and you've watched other episodes, then you knew what you were getting yourself in for. So it's been chaotic and it's been a bit, but you love it, we love it, and that's what we're here for. So if it wasn't like this, you wouldn't come back. Like, share, subscribe, do all of the things. Only to the cool people though, because we don't want the uncool people here.
Yeah, if you could just tell me if you in the comments if somebody could actually tell me what Molly May does,
Yeah.
that would be grand. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Because
much.
I'm
And we
still
will be
confused.
back next week.
Bye.